Happy lunch hour, guys. All right. We've all heard this before. The biggest lies ever told, right? The check is in the mail. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. I didn't inhale. No, read my lips. No new taxes. I'll respect you in the morning. You know, we've all heard those. Okay. But there's one that's going to take the cake for all of them. You'll own nothing and be happy. Bull effing shit. Okay. Now, for the longest time, we have talked about apartment complexes going up, them moving people into the cities, whatever would be. All right. And I can't tell you how many people or how many times I've said and how many other people have said, if you're looking to get out now. Okay. It's happening, whether or not we care to believe it or not. The elites are trying to take over everything. And housing is the number one thing, trying to move you into a controlled area. Susan sent me a email yesterday, and it's just another in a long list of times that this is happening. I mean, we all know BlackRock buying up houses, outbidding people for houses, overbidding for houses to keep people from buying them. Well, this went down in Florida. In the headline, I'll link the article below. Goldman Sachs backed firm buys entire Florida community for 45 million bucks. All right. So they are buying anything and everything in the way of housing. And this is where you get to you'll own nothing and supposedly be happy. If they own your house, your apartment, whatever it would be, you are not free. You can't do whatever the hell you want to do. All right. Now, the funny part is, and a lot of people will say this, is, oh, you got to be careful where you buy because if the house has an HOA, you may be limited on what you can do. Very true. Okay. No question about that at all. However, the funny part is, this is a time when HOAs actually may be an asset to you because there's a bunch of stories where HOAs are now putting rules in their communities about how many properties can be rentals. Well, that does wonderfully when some of these companies come in and go, we want to buy this house and this house and this house and this house, and we're going to turn it into a rental. And the HOA says, sorry, you know what? We have a limit in this town that, or in this neighborhood that only 5% of the houses, make something up here, can be rentals. Sorry, we already have 4 houses in the neighborhood, so you can't rent that one. Okay. So believe it or not, there's actually a chance where HOAs could be helpful. But this is where it gets interesting. All right. And this is as to where they are buying all these houses. The top 10 markets where real estate investment firms have come in and purchased homes. And I'll just list this to you, and if you live close by, you might want to pay attention. Atlanta, Charlotte, Miami, Jacksonville, Phoenix, Orlando, Detroit, Las Vegas, Tampa, and Nashville. What do almost all those cities have in common? They're in red states. Okay. And you can take Detroit. Detroit is very much a blue city, but Michigan is very much a purple state. Okay. And then again, who the hell wants to live in Detroit anyway? Okay. And Las Vegas. And Las Vegas is very much a purple state. It flips back and forth. I mean, y'all know the reason I left Vegas is because it went from a conservative state and then they elected Sisolak and Rosen and Horsford, at least in the Vegas area, and I was like, I'm out of here. Felons and communists are not the ones that I want running, my life. The rest of them, Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, conservative states, solid red. Okay, So what is going on? You have these liberal companies trying to buy up the real estate in conservative states. Be careful of this, right? Because if you live there, they are going to try to flip the state by that reason. Because just, follow the money. Okay? I'm just saying there. Now, you think this is not that much of a big deal. These companies now own over 300,000 single family homes in the United States. It's not a little, but it's not a lot. In 2021, the last time the numbers are out, 18.4% of the houses that were sold in the country in 2021 were sold to real estate investment companies. In 2020, it was 12.6%. So you're talking a 50% increase on the purchase of homes. Now, who owns these companies? Again, I tell you, these are the elitists, the powers that be, the NWO, the next coming of Satan, whatever would be. They are not your friend, okay? But going on to some of those cities, all right, let's talk about some of the big ones. In Charlotte and Atlanta, real estate investment companies bought more than 30% of the homes that were for sale last year. Jacksonville, Vegas, and Phoenix, nearly 30%, 28, 29%. Okay? So when people are having a hard time finding houses, and when the first time homeowners are having a problem buying houses, this is exactly why. Now, you want to buy a house. Why? Because you want to be able to be more self-sufficient. Like I said, sometimes you get into HOAs which say you can't collect, or states, you can't collect rainwater, you can't have a garden, whatever it would be. So you want to watch that. Now, not everybody wants to live down south. Not everybody wants to live in the mountains, whatever it is. Let's say you live in New England, okay? You like snow, you like winter, whatever it would be. Anything like that. Look at the state of Maine, okay? Not tiny space-wise, but population-wise. Maine is a small state population-wise. Maine just passed a law called the right to food, okay? This is what it says. All individuals have a natural, inherent, and unalienable right to food, including the right to save and exchange seeds and the right to grow, raise, harvest, produce, and consume the food of their choosing for their own nourishment, sustenance, bodily health, and well-being, as long as the individual does not commit trespassing, theft, poaching, or other abuses of private property rights, public lands, or natural resources in the harvesting, production, or acquisition of food. Okay? There you go. The state of Maine, again, a purple state, okay, depending on where you are. You're in Augusta, it's blue. The rest of the state is red. All right. The state of Maine has just now said that people can grow food, people can sell food, people can barter, as they put it. People are now allowed to sell non-perishable jellies, candies, baked goods that are prepared at home. They have a constitutional right to buy, barter, or trade foods like raw milk straight from the cow and meat slaughtered in their neighbor's backyard. That is freedom. Those are the things you need to be looking for. I know when we talk about where to go, everybody's like, oh my God, I can't afford to move or whatever it is. And I did a video on it before. It ain't can't. It's that you don't want to. All right? You can if you want to. It may mean some sacrifice, but this is what's going on in your neighborhoods in a lot of these cities. You are eventually going to be, quote unquote, owned by these corporations that are buying houses. All right. Because, as I said at the beginning about HOAs, remember how HOAs are run. It is, and what it stands for, it is a home owners association, not a home renters association. If you're in a situation where there's a lot of rentals around you, if one company owns all those rentals, guess what? They got all those votes and they can determine what's going to happen in the neighborhood. Oh, you know what? We don't like this. So therefore, we have 50% of the votes. We're going to change the rules, and now you can no longer have dogs. You're done. Okay, you don't have any say in the matter. They own the HOA. The other problem you get is now they are the biggest taxpayers, which means they have, if you're not in an HOA, which means now they have the ear of city council, the mayor, whatever it would be. Hey, we're paying, $100 million in property taxes on all the properties we own in this town. We want you to do this. And that's what happens. Be very, very, very cognizant about all this, because this is what they're trying to do. They are trying to get everybody to force everybody to move into the cities, and they own all the property. And so now you'll own nothing and be miserable. Pinball out.